the gift to give to the receiver. According to especially what they call the profession of generosity. What's meant profession of generosity? When you give, let's say, when you give couple dollars or $1 to a homeless. Okay, this for example, can you imagine you are here and homeless here, $1 here. Of course, get one example, okay? Example of $1. So when you give that $1 to homeless, okay? So if you think according to Mahayana Buddhist view, if you attach yourself, I am a giver, and this is a gift I give to the homeless, that's not the true, that's not the profession of generosity. When you give, you don't attach to yourself, and you don't even attach to that gift, and even to the receiver.
Christianity has the same kind of philosophy. In Christianity, there's actually a verse in the Bible that says, give with your right hand so your left doesn't know it. It means basically give, not for recognition or anything like that, just to give.
Yeah, that is similarity, right? And but of course, it's not easy for people to practice, right? Most of the time, when we give out, we have condition, right? Valentine's, yeah, we give the flower or anything to our girlfriends, boyfriends, because we love that person, not our one. Not everyone, is that right? Because when we give the flower, the rose to that lady or that young man, we expect that they give back something to us, even some kind of flower or a kiss or whatever, right? So, because of that condition, we put on that kind of generosity. It's not the complete one. It's not the fully one. It's not the perfect one. The perfect one is when we give, like you just say in the Bible. Not forget, but no attachment. It makes sense? It's hard, right?
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's hard, but when we practice, it's much easier for us. Why? Most of the time, when we give things to other people, whether we have direct condition or indirect condition to other person, right? We expect when we give them or we help them out, we expect that one day they will give us a favor. Is that right? Most of the time, that's just our human. Is that right?
That's right.
So that's why this kind of practice help us to transform that kind of thought. And plus, let me put it this way: in Buddhism, we don't use any scam to convert people, right? To give our money or whichever. When they come, they can come. Make sense? Right? But now, you know, in many missionaries group, they go to, especially the poor country, they have, of course it's good, but their purpose is to convert people, but not for us. You understand the difference there? So of course, we human, so we make mistakes. We human, we put condition on other people most of the times. For the Bodhisattva or whoever practices kind of part, Mahayana part, we support to give without any attachment. So that is more complete. Let me put it this way. What happens when you give, let's say during the Valentine's, when you give a rose, right, to your ladies, right? And what happens? She go with other men. Or he go with other lady. What happens? It's hurt, right? Is that right? But if you give someone else, if they need your help, let's say, like that's homeless man, they need your $1 to buy, I don't know, bread or wherever, right? This is more helpful, right? When you done with that work, when you done with that giving, that person could sustain his life for a day. You understand that? This is more beneficial.
So it has something to do with attachment.
Yeah, that's the point. Because the suffering or happiness it just come from here, come from attachment. Because like I told you, if you attach to that lady, if you attach to that gentleman, when you give them and you put the hidden the condition on them, what happens when they turn their back? You see that? It makes sense now? right?
Yeah, fear of rejection.
Yeah. Attachment go with rejection. Attachment go with anger. So when we're free, see that art, when they're free, they can free anything, they can give anything. And even in the Buddha past life, there's many stories about Buddha past. Even when someone asked for his head, he could give to them too. Let me tell a story. It's a fun story. It's not easy to practice. It's not easy. Well, there's a monk. He's a new monk. He's old. He's in his 50s, but he's the new one in the monastic orders. So one day he drove a van on the road, and somehow he saw a homeless guy, and he stopped his van and go, okay, come in, get into my van. Where you want to go? Yeah, so he drove that homeless to the place that guy want to go. So on the way, while he was driving, he gave lecture to this homeless guy. Well, you know, in Buddhism, we give out everything. We are so generous, so forth. And homeless man, he turned around and said, can you give me your van? So what happened? He shut his mouth, and when he stopped, when it's time for him to stop, so he let that guy go. In reality, it's not easy. Is that right?
Yeah.
We can talk in theories and principle and so forth, but in reality, it's not easy. When you really sacrifice your life for others, when you really give something that's meaningful and beneficial for others, it's not easy. Is that right?
I know, sure.
Yeah. So especially, let's say, if you have grandparents or parents who have some problems physically at home, right? You really want to take care of them, but sometimes you may not have energy, you may not have times, but you have to sacrifice your times for them. And you know, especially in our tradition, our Asian tradition, many times, many families, they prefer to keep their parents or grandparents, the elderly one, at home. Even they quit their job to take care of them. That's the way they sacrifice for their loved one. You want to ask? Yeah. You want to ask something? Oh, okay. So you see that it's not easy. Right? It's not easy, especially when let's say a couple, right? When one of the spouse have some problems physically, right? Okay. So again, in Buddhist view, yes, giving the spiritual support is more important to guide people to develop spiritual support or mental support, or provide the guidelines, provide the techniques, how to transform the suffering into happiness is more important than material giving. It makes sense, right? What they say, teach someone how to fish. It's better to give the fish, is that right? It's simple, right? So, and many people who got out from the prison, yeah, they have a lot of programs to train them so that they can find the jobs instead of mess around and go back there, right? So again, yeah, helping people to transform, to control, to be happy mentally, spiritually is more important. But of course, if whichever thing we have, we can share. But let me ask one thing: why do we need to share? Why do we need to give? Why?
So what is it?
Why do we need to share? Why do we need to give to other people? Why don't we keep things for ourselves? Let me tell you, like say tsunami, right? Tsunami in South, in Sri Lanka, and so forth. Even when we have the Katrina, right? 2005, and recently we have what you call earthquake in Japan. So why we live here in this West? Why do we need to send the money to that people who live that far? Why? Is that stupid?
No.
Why not?
Because they need help.
They need help.
But
They need help, but do we get anything when we give out to that strange people?
yeah, we get the part of generosity.
Okay.
You know, generosity because that's part of the religion. And
But because of religion, But if some people who are not religious people, they still keep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, why?
I would say because it makes us feel good, but then that kind of, you're not supposed to do it to make yourself feel good about yourself. So I guess for Buddhists, it'd be to take away from yourself in a way.
In every tradition, not only Buddhist tradition, right? In Christianity, right? Catholicism and so forth, right? The priests, the pastor encourage people to give out, right? To give to the poor. And I think in the Bible, right? Jesus Christ encouraged people to give, right? Not to take in. Is that right? I remember there's a story. I don't know. Correct me. There's some passage from the Bible. It says that the gate of the heavens is great for people, but not for the rich one, and not for the wealthy one. Is that right?
The saying is, it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter heaven.
That's the point. That's right. Oh, yeah, that's. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So again, why do we need to give? Whether we are the rich people or not? Yes. Why?
To reduce suffering in the world and to help them to be able to rehabilitate and live their lives better and have the resources to rebuild and.
Okay. And what happened to us if we give out? Yes.
We reduce our attachments.
No, in general, forget Buddhism. Forget Buddhist theory. In reality, why do you need to give? Let's say for the stranger, of course.
Forget Buddhism.
Yeah. Put your relatives
Because it
aside.
teaches you compassion.
Yeah, forget. Don't talk about anything about the tradition. Just talk about reality. Why do you need to give?
Because if you give to others, you're more compassionate.
You're more passionate. For the people who don't care much about religion, they don't care about compassion, right? So how? Why do we need to give?
Tax breaks.
Tax break. Okay, good. That's religious way. What else?
Guilt.
Uh,
Is it guilt?
secure.
Guilt.
Guilt.
Feel guilty for.
Okay. In other tradition, in other country, they don't give you tax break. Yeah. But why? Why do we encourage our people to
Because
give?
there's some innate instinct in us.
Instant on that. Okay. What else? What else?
Maybe
Instinct.
because of the golden rule.
Golden
Like-
rules,
Like,
common sense.
treat others the way you want to be treated.
That's the point. That's the point we want to say. Karma, right? What we do for others, then we do for us, right? So it's common sense, it's golden rules, right?
But doesn't that go back to giving and expecting something back?
Now, okay, you can say that, but somehow as much as we understand that kind of karma, that kind of golden rules, will come back to us anyway then. We don't need to ask. We give. We don't need to expect because come back. Is that right?
I mean, that's why I do it, because I want, if I'm in need one day, I want somebody to pass by and
Yeah.
help me.
That's the
But
point.
That kind of, I'm expecting
That's
that,
not-
though. at the same time.
That's the common rules. That's the golden rules. Is that right? And the common sense. So when people are homeless, when people in the poverty, we help them, and we think we may one day be like them, and hopefully someone will step up and help us. So that's common sense. Even we don't expect that person, even we don't expect that homeless man will be the one who help us in the future. Is that right? Because we know the common sense. Is that right? We know the golden rule. So any society, any community, whether you're a religious person or not, it doesn't matter. Alright? But of course, in Buddhism, what happens? The more we give, the more we get the merits. Why? What happens when the more we take in? What happens?
We get a better chance of leaving the cycle.
Yeah, of course, the more we selfish. Alright? Right? And let's say if we have, let's say if you have $100, right? You can buy your shoes, whatever you want to buy, and you use them all for yourself, right? But when you share, let's say $50, $10 for whoever you want to share, basically you can have all the last person. And in Buddhist view, because we are interdependent, whichever things we do, we affect others and vice versa. That's why we need to share. Make sense? You understand that? Now we talk, after we talk about common rules, golden rules, now we talk about Buddhist view. Right? So, your husband relate to your wife. You relate to you, and your wife relate to you. And your children relate, has that type of interconnection with you. Your teacher, your student, right? Your boss, your employees, your employers. Remember we talked about this, right? Whichever decision you make will affect your wife, your husband, your children, whoever live with you, whoever work with you. Make sense? So that's why we need to share. And of course, in common sense, when it's time for us, need that type of help, hopefully someone will step up and help us. But of course, when we do, again, we don't have that kind of expectation, but we understand that type of common rules. Make sense? So that's why I want to emphasize on this. Okay, yeah, okay, no. So let's see, move on. Kevin, still?
Yeah,
Oh,
I actually had a lot of problems finding anything on that.
A
A
lot
lot of
of
stuff on the Mahayana and a lot of stuff on monastic orders and laity, but I couldn't find anything on linking the two.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Remember we talked about this is my trick question for you too. So what do we have here? Remember we talked about the Vinaya, remember that? That's a rule there. Okay, Vinaya, remember we have the 3 baskets, right? The Buddha teaching, the Vinaya, that means the rules for monks and nuns. Of course, include the rules for lay people. It's only 5 pieces. No killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no lying, and no taking intoxicant. That's all. All right, we talked about that, right? Remember Vinaya? Remember that word? Vinaya. Remember? Right? In back, I don't know, I forgot. Last few weeks ago, right? Yeah, so that's a basic one. Now we have a lot of things to talk, and we show you interesting clip. How about ideal patient? Is that the virtue in every tradition, right? Mm-hmm. Is that right? You work in the hospital, right? You work with patients, you need to be patient, right? A lot. Otherwise, it's not easy. Okay, that's your truth, right? Go ahead, please.
For patience, there's 3 aspects to it. The first one is gentle forbearance, which you act in self-restraint. You think about your actions or what you're going to say. You don't do anything in retaliation. Make sure you do no harm with your actions and what you're saying. And then second is calm endurance of hardship, and that's to accept that there will always be pain and hardship, and you can never eradicate it for everyone. And then the third is acceptance of truth, and to accept the things around you, and that things are the way they are.
Okay.
And not wanting them to be different, and to accept that things are always going to change.
Okay. So in at work, how patient can be helpful for you? To deal with patient.
Because you're always in a hurry, so you have to be patient and allow people to move at their speed, and not always at the speed that I want them to be at.
What else? What else? When they so painful, right?
Do what?
That you work in the ER. So let's say when they have the car accident, whichever thing happened to them physically, it's so painful, right? So how could you handle the patient? Handle them with your patient?
With their pain, I know that I can't make it magically go away. The physicians can order medication, and the nurse can give it to them to help them with it. But most that I can just be there for them and just talk to them and just listen to them. Because usually there's a lot of anxiety with it. So just being like an open ear.
You see every day, right? You see all kind of injury, right? Which one is more severe? Which one is that you could not forget at all? And then during the time that you work at the ER.
As far as an injury?
The most severe one, that you could not forget.
We don't get a whole lot of high trauma.
Okay.
We had this young lady once who cut off her entire finger from a door.
Yeah.
A door had slammed, and it sliced off the entire end of her pointer finger.
What happened? She lost her finger?
Yeah, it got slammed in a doorway.
Oh,
It had completely sliced off.
one or two?
Which one?
Okay.
Just her pointer finger.
Okay.
But we don't get a whole lot of like high trauma. We get like the high trauma goes to U of L.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Okay.
So
So where's the hospital? Is
Suburban. It's over
suburban.
in St. Matthews.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we get car accidents. We do get full arrest, which are
About
patients
shooting?
that are coded.
About shooting.
Shooting? No, we do not get gunshots.
Really?
No.
Alright. So you don't use any crimes,
No.
criminals. Okay, that's good. How about you? You have your patient?
Yeah, I got patience.
Okay. You have children, right?
Yes.
How many?
One
Only one girl and boy?
girl.
Okay. She grown up? Okay, so what do you think about this kind of patient?
Basically, I had the same thing as what she had. I had three, there was like three kinds of patients. And I just want to, add a little bit to that. It's like patience was, the way I read it, patience was the antidote of anger.
Yeah.
It was like, you had to have, it was hard to get without patience, it's hard to get to the,
Yeah. Go ahead, yeah, please.
without patience, it's hard to get to the bodhisattva.
Bodhisattva.
It's hard to get, you can't get there without patience. And so it is, basically, it's a requirement for the religion. You gotta have patience
Again.
to deal with ignorance.
Okay.
Because you get mad real easy and stuff like that, and you don't understand, and that leads to anger.
Okay. What's the difference between patient and suppression? What's different?
Big difference.
Wow.
Suppression is you're not really getting out the true feeling of what you have, what you feel. And whereas patience is, you understand, but you don't have that. Suppression is more like anger, I think.
What do you think? People used to have more suppression and more patience.
I think if you're angry and you're suppressing it, you're already angry. If you're patient, you're not allowing yourself to become angry because you're being more patient instead of angry. Suppression's like you're angry, but you're not showing it. It's totally different than being patient.
You wait for the time too.
Yeah.
It's probably happened sometimes to some of us, right? It's happened, right? Right. So, especially when we could not handle things, that cross our line, right? Right. It's not easy, right? Who got married already? You have the ring.
What's that? Oh, married? Yes.
You want to see my clip? I just done the wedding ceremony yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. I explained for newly couples about the meaning of the ring. Tell me first, what's the meaning of the ring?
Eternity.
Eternity love, right? And that's all?
Is he uniting the two together?
Not to occur, yeah. That's related to this one. In Chinese and Vietnamese language, we say that the ring of patience. Why?
Well, anybody who's been married can tell you why.
Yeah.
Is that right?
It takes patience to stay married.
Yeah. Anybody who's been married can tell you why that.
There's a new couple. Actually, yesterday. That's the families there and some people. That's my monastery in Corden. Oh, I'm sorry. Right. We call daughter. Yeah. Okay, and okay, sorry. Let me move to the place where okay, so you join your right hand. Okay. By yourself, you start out as a husband and wife. The Buddha who was enlightened human, right? Or enlightened. Now, right. Somehow we decide to do this or that, but somehow we create a vision force.
Okay. Receives this ring as a token of our friendship and as a symbol of all we share. I also pledge to you my love and faithfulness forever.
That's when they ascended the ring. You're gonna see in the background. They're gonna change the ring.
Wow. Whoever please see.
Anyway, so before that accident to them was the meaning of ring. I told you, in our Vietnamese or Chinese words, the ring that's the word of patient. Why? You still married, right? Do you need to have patience to live together?
Yes.
Huh?
A lot.
A ton of it, sorry.
My wife needs more than I do.
Really? You sure? Oh, okay. Why? Why do we need to have that type of patience in order to live together? Why?
Because I'm obnoxious.
Really?
No.
Different backgrounds, and
Yeah.
you're trying to live together in the same home, and you were raised differently. Like I was a military brat, and then I joined the military, and my husband has never left his probably 300-mile radius of where he lived. That's lucky. So, I mean, it's two different worlds, two different cultures, two different beliefs coming into one marriage. It can get pretty
Tough, right?
Yeah.
It's really tough when you even how you pay the bill, how you pay the mortgage.
or how you wash the bathroom.
Yeah. Or even if you have children, it's add on
How you raise them.
how to raise them, how to send them to school, private school, or public school, and how to teach them. And sometimes the children stand middle. Is that right?
Yeah.
And one parent say this, another parent say that. They don't know where they're headed to. And sometimes if the parents are fighting each other, they try to pull the children to their side. Is that right? And that's not easy. So that is why in our Asian tradition we say that the ring of patience. And of course the ring represents in the Western tradition too eternal love, right? Unconditional love. Is that right? If you have that love, if you want to have that love, you need to develop this one, patient. Like your mother, some of your mother, right? How many do you have? Two? How many do you have? One. Who else? Only two?
I have, I'm not a mother. I'm a child.
Have one?
Yeah.
As an adult, you have patience with your child?
Yes.
But most of the times, your observation, whether it's in the West or the East, most of the time the children like to live with whom? Dad or mom? Why?
Most have nicer.
Yeah, more patient, is that right?
Yeah.
Because she gave birth, you gave birth to them, and you know their emotion. You know them since they were unborn.
I think it's easier to have patience with your child than it is to have with your spouse.
Yeah, definitely. In our tradition, it's the best in the East. The mother rather to sacrifice their life for the children, not for the husband. Yeah, common sense, right? Because the children, that's where you produce, that's where you raise them since they were unborn. That's why when you love them, you have to be patient with them.
Plus, they're more innocent. It's easier to be patient with people more innocent.
Really?
As they get older, it's a little trickier because they're more adults. They're less innocent. It's more you have to cultivate your patience more because they can back talk and make their own decisions.
Yeah, we have a lot of things to discuss, but you notice the news that a 17 or 18-year-old girl who sued her parents. Remember that? You know that story? It's ridiculous, right? Even in the West. Why? Why you laugh? Is this don't accept that, right?
It is ridiculous.
It's true.
We agree.
Even for here.
Even for here, it's
Yes.
ridiculous.
Did anybody else hear what the judge's response was? Why it ended up going to second trial?
I thought she dropped the charges.
Yeah.
The first judge, when it came to court, looked at the case and goes, I am not trying this because I'm not going down in history as setting this precedent.
The truth, that's not the profession of generosity. When you give, you don't attach to yourself. And you don't even attach to that gift. And even to the receiver.
Christianity has the same kind of philosophy. In Christianity, there's actually a verse in the Bible that says, give with your right hand so your left doesn't know it. It means basically give, not for recognition or anything like that, just to give.
Yeah, that is similarity, right? And but of course, it's not easy for people to practice, right? Most of the time, when we give out, we have condition, right? Valentine's, yeah, we give the flower or anything to our girlfriends, boyfriends, because we love that person, not our other one. Of course, we're human, so we make mistakes. We're human. We put condition on other people most of the times. For the Bodhisattva or whoever practices kind of part, Mahayana part, we're supposed to give without an attachment. So that is more complete. Let me put it this way. What happens when you give, let's say during the Valentine's, when you give a rose, right, to your ladies, right? And what happens? She go with other man, or he go with other lady. What happens? It's hurt, right? It's right. But if you give someone else, if they need your help, let's say like that's homeless man, they need your $1 to buy, I don't know, bread or whatever, right? This is more the gift to give to the receiver. According to especially what they call the profession of generosity. What's meant profession of generosity? When you give, let's say, when you give couple of dollars or $1 to a homeless, okay, this for example, can you imagine you are here and homeless here, $1 here. Of course, get one example, okay? Example of $1. So when you give that $1 to homeless, okay? So if you think according to Mahayana Buddhist view, if you attach yourself, I am a giver, and this is a gift I give to the homeless, that's not direct condition or indirect condition to other person, right? We expect when we give them or we help them out, we expect that one day they will give us a favor. Is that right? Most of the time, that's our human. Is that right?
That's right.
So that's why this kind of practice help us to transform that kind of thought. And plus, let me put it this way: in Buddhism, we don't use any scam to convert people, right? To give our money or whichever. When they come, they can come. Make sense? Right? But now, you know, in many missionaries group, they go to, especially the poor country, they have, of course it's good, but their purpose is to convert people, but not for us. You understand the difference there? Not everyone, is that right? Because when we give the flower, the rose to that lady or that young man, we expect that they give back something to us, even some kind of flower or a kiss or whatever, right? So, because of that condition, we put on that kind of generosity. It's not the complete one. It's not the fully one. It's not the perfect one. The perfect one is when we give, like you just say in the Bible. Not forget, but no attachment. It makes sense? It's hard, right?
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's hard, but when we practice, it's much easier for us. Why? Most of the time, when we give things to other people, whether we have the